When one considers the progression of Philippine education, one element remains constant throughout history: change. According to Pastor Oman, change is inevitable, but growth is optional, and when we stop growing, we start decaying. George Bernard Shaw concluded that progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. Situated in the heart of the busy district of Novaliches, with a 1-hectare land area, Kaligayahan Elementary School, founded in 1968, is one of the 95 public elementary schools in the division of Quezon City, with 62 competent and committed teachers and 2,218 learners. It is the home of one of the heritage trees and centennial trees in the National Capital Region, the Tandang Suar tree. It has been actively participating in the programs of the division and the Department of Education in general through the leadership of its indefatigable and innovative principal, Mr. Joey S. Mancha. The school also promotes its own programs spearheaded by its supportive and dedicated subject area coordinators. It also equips its faculty through sending them to seminars, workshops, and conducting its own in-service trainings at least twice a year. Not only that, but the school also trains its learners to become competitive and at par with their counterparts in the district and the division. Even before DepEd has released its statement ensuring the continuity of education amid the challenges during the pandemic, Kaligayahan Elementary School was one of the first schools to submit its learning continuity plan to the division. This shows that the school administration has been very keen and proactive in thinking of possible scenarios that has led the school to craft programs and practices that may later pave the way for better outcomes. The school's LCP has been the main reason why many parents, both from public and private schools, have enrolled their children to KES, which results to an increase of student population by 13.3%. The school has learners from other parts of the country and even from overseas because of online distance learning.
I am Abdurrahman Espanda from grade 6 Bonyan. I am here to introduce you the benefits and uses of the date palm tree.
Before school year 2020-2021 opened last October 5, in preparation for the new normal in education, Mr. Paulino K. Carpila Jr., ICT Coordinator, attended the ICT training in the use of Google productivity tools of the division and selected as one of the trainers. This training was conducted by the IT Head Officer of the division, Mrs. Maria Cristina N. Marquez. After that, the school formed an ICT team, SPED Miss Maria Victoria M. Nieva, Kinder Mrs. Odette S. Udon, Grade 1, Jeremiah M. Tero, Grade 2, Rhea M. Masubay, Grade 3, Mrs. Mary Joy D. Manabat, Grade 4, Mrs. Jessie C. Bonga, Grade 5, Mrs. Janelyn S. Alberto, and Grade 6, Miss Levy Ann R. Dalisay. And the team was then sent to the division training last May 18 to 2020.
Training is teaching or developing in oneself or others any skills and knowledge that relate to specific useful competencies. Especially we know that one will be our weapons are the computer, technology, and online. The training in ICT to us before starting to teach in the new normal of education has helped me a lot as a teacher. It is to be able to teach as if it were only in our classrooms, but most importantly, so that we can also inspire the students to continue despite the challenges we are facing right now. They always say that you can't give what you don't have. So these trainings are the one of the foundations, and we have gained knowledge on how to teach online class, teach students how to learn in online, and share what we have learned with fellow teachers, especially seeing them like me who's also wondering but ready to learn in spite of age. Our desire and to continue and love our profession is seen in our eagerness to learn from trainings for our students and for the country.
The team later cascaded what they had learned through a 5-day inset last June 1 to 5, 2020. After that, selected teachers showcased what they have learned through demonstration teachings. Another inset on module writing was conducted by the school, led by master teachers last June 22 to June 26, 2020. This was to cater the needs of MDL learners.
Napakalaking tulong para sa mga bata ang mga modules para maipagpatuloy nila yung kanilang pag-aaral sa panahon ng pandemic. Isa sa magandang epekto nito, I think, ay safe ang mga bata kasi hindi na po nila kailangang pumunta sa school physically para makipaghalubilo sa teachers or sa classmates sa panahon na ito. Then, yung independency nila sa learning. Natuturuan natin yung mga bata na mag-self-study sa mga lessons na ibinibigay sa kanila ng kanilang mga teachers every day. Then, nagiging disiplinado din sila kasi they need to follow the routine. And kailangan po nilang gawin yung mga outputs, assignments, or tasks na ibinibigay ng mga teachers para makapasa po sila. So, itong modules na ito, nababalikan po nila para aralin po nila lalo na po kung mahirap po yung lessons.
The last of the inset series was conducted last June 29 to July 1, 2020. This was led by the micro lesson team. Teachers were taught how to prepare micro lessons both in printed and digital versions. This was intended for both MDL and ODL learners. After all the trainings, teachers applied what they have learned through an actual virtual demonstration teaching last June 11 to July 2020. Teachers experienced the possible scenarios during an online class. After each demonstration teaching, critiquing was also done, led by the principal and master teachers. 97% of the teachers participated in the demonstration teaching, an indication that they were now ready for the online classes.
In this new working landscape, the significant impacts I learned are plethora of things. One of the most significant is that I remembered my very first day when I handled my first class. I remembered how much I loved teaching. I remembered how challenging it was. But as time went by, it became so easy for me. I was certainly having difficulty with the technical aspects when I had my demonstration. However, the passion and fire I still have towards teaching overpowered my technical issues and apprehensions. In this new landscape of the pandemic, it is very important to have a solid working relationship. I take this opportunity to give thanks for the support and patience at my principal, Mr. Joey S. Mancia, and to all my grade 3 family. I am always grateful every day to be working side by side, albeit virtually, with all of you. Thank you.
Before the actual opening of classes, parents were oriented of the school's LCP via Google Meet. Guidelines for the distribution of modules were presented through video presentation via YouTube posted in the school's FB page. This was prepared by the ICT team headed by Mr. Paulino K. Garbila Jr. By following safety protocols, modules or printed micro lessons were distributed every Saturday and Sunday to MDL learners as per schedule. In the absence of modules during the first few weeks, teacher-made micro lessons became the substitute for modules. Lessons are presented and discussed in an explicit way. Exercises and required outputs are also provided in the ML. The Kaligayahan Elementary School Online Reading Hub is a simple online reading facility that contains a collection of ebooks and teacher-made video lessons that can be accessed by learners through their G Suite accounts. At the start, the facility is set up or established only by the proponent, but eventually to be opened to other teachers for collaboration. What's more interesting about this innovation is how the reading materials are presented. After clicking the link, the learner is then redirected to a library. Then, he can choose from the categories he likes to read. Again, after clicking, he is now redirected to a set of collection from which he can choose. The proponent, Mrs. Maricel P. Buñuel, found it helpful and necessary to continue this project and to present it to a larger audience.
The KHS Reading Hub is a free online platform with many different books by different authors. It was first introduced to me by my teacher in grade 6, when she told us, all of my classmates, to read at least one book from the website. At first, I did not think that I was up for the task because even though I loved to read, I knew that the books that I liked weren't there. Reading more has helped me in expanding my vocabulary and helping me read faster. And overall, the KES Reading Hub is a great platform and can be useful for many different students who either dream of being authors or just love to read.
Entitled Erator, or Enhancing Reading Abilities Through Online Reading Program, the program aims to address the needs of struggling readers. The school conducted an online remedial reading program even prior to the division's call for remedial reading program in schools. This started in December 2020 and ended in April 2021, and it catered to grade 6 struggling readers since they will leave the school soon, hence, they need to have sufficient reading skills. Led by the proponents Mrs. Maricel P. Buñuel, Mrs. Maria Teresa V. Soriano, and Mrs. Rowena A. Ortiz, this program has changed the lives of 17 active participants.
Ako po si Cornelius C. Visayo Jr. Nag-graduate sa Kaligayahan Elementary School. Nakasali ako sa remedial at marami po akong natutunan. Maraming salamat po.
Now, the school's remedial reading program entitled Read for KES continues its commitment to augment the reading skills of learners from grades 2 to 6 through the leadership of the reading coordinator, Mrs. Imelda T. Ilin, with a fully dedicated team of teachers.
Malaki po yung may tutulong ng remedial class po sa aking anak dahil po nakakasa po ito ang kanilang pag-iisip na matutong magbasa po. Malaking tulong din po ito para po pag nagkaroon po ng face-to-face ay makakasabay na po sila sa pag-aaral ng ibang bata.
Every end of each quarter, all parents of MDL learners are requested to have a face-to-face parent-teacher conference with which parents are asked how they assess their children as to their performance in accomplishing modules and outputs. Through this, teachers know the challenges encountered by the learners at home, and parents get to ask teachers as well. After the first quarter of 2020, learning gaps were identified which alerted the department to craft ways to address the gaps through the DepEd Order 12 series of 2021, which partly states that from March 1 to 12, 2021, the schools conducted remediation and intervention activities based on the unique needs of the learners. Bawat Isa Siguradong Aangat or BISA is formulated by Mrs. Maria Bula de la Cruz, one of the master teachers, in which the members, who are the School Parents Teachers Associations SPTA officers and the barangay personnel, went to those pupils who have been missing their online classes and those who have been missing to submit their outputs in the modular mode despite the repeated efforts of their teacher to communicate and advise to them, but are still consistent in their misgivings. The project made sure that these learners were not left behind.
Bawat isa siguradong aangat, BISA as its acronym, which means each learner is assured advancement, which is anchored in the Department of Education's call on No Child is Left Behind. The project is a brainchild of our vibrant and proactive principal, Mr. Joey S. Mansha. BISA, as its goal, is to assure the advancement of at least 75% of the learners listed by their advisors who are considered students at risk of dropping out, SARDO as its acronym, because of their irregular attendance and submission of outputs. It is also an indication of success. Right after the kick-off meeting, the school parents Teachers Committee officers, with the assistance of the barangay officials, have started visited pupils who were in the list. Some have changed residence due to the pandemic. A number were able to undergo the process of being taught to, advised by their teachers through the telephone brought by the officers. Finally, parents accomplished the home visitation forms brought by the officers. A significant number of learners were visited even when the project was shortened because of the remediation week set by the department In the surge of the Delta variant, Visa still delivered quite acceptable 75% of the reduced number of participants who continued with their studies and were not left behind.
Maganda po ang proyekto ng pagdalaw ng mga guro. Kasama kami mga officers sa aming pag-house to house sa mga kabataan na hindi pa nakakapag-enroll at hindi pa nakapasok online man o modular sa paaralan noong panahon ng pandemic, sapagkat nagkaroon ng positibong epekto sa mga kabataan at mga magulang ang paglapit ng paaralan upang himukin ang mga estudyante na magpatuloy sa pag-aaral kahit may kinakaharap na epidemya.
During online classes, although some availed of the tablets from LGU and this led to many learners transferring to ODL, many still could not attend classes regularly because of load shortage or lack of device or gadget. This motivated the school to conduct a donation drive asking for stakeholders to donate a used gadget or provide for load assistance. It was a successful venture and many beneficiaries were grateful.
I want to thank all my supporters who supported me all the way into the end. But to all things, this is just the end of the beginning. I really want to say thank you to all the people who believed in me and that they believe that I can make it. I really want to thank my supporters for the ones that gave me donation.
During the Remediation and Intervention Week last March 1 to 12, 2021, each grade level prepared different strategies to encourage and help those who lag. Many teachers conducted one-on-one online remediation, and those who were not able to attend online were contacted through phone call. It was indeed a beneficial program.
Napakalaking tulong po para sa aking anak ang inyong paggabay at pagtulong. Madami na po siyang natutunan, naging responsable po siya sa mga gawain niya, lalong-lalo na sa mga takdahan.
Ang insight ko po regarding sa pag-follow up ng mga teachers sa mga output ng mga bata noon ay regular na nagpa-follow up ang mga teachers. Every subject po nila ay may update kung ano yung mga missing ng mga bata at kung sino yung mga bata. Laging nire-remind yun. So, yung mga, kung hindi man nakakapasok yung bata, sinisikap ng mga teachers na i-text or tawagan yung mga ito para lang makapag-comply ang mga bata at syempre para magkaroon ng grades. So, ang kagandahan naman na naidulot nito sa mga bata na hindi pumapasok at hindi nagpasa ng mga output ay natututo silang mag-check regularly at magkaroon ng time management para sa kanilang mga missing output.
Every Monday morning, before the start of online classes, all learners are encouraged to join the flag ceremony conducted via Google Meet and FB Live. A grade level is assigned to lead and facilitate the short program and showcase talents and best outputs from among their learners. This encourages learners to make their best outputs. Presently, every Wednesday, all learners get to interact with their fellow KESians through a convocation program led by different grade levels. This not only develops their communication skills, but also harnesses their God-given talents. Not only that, but they also get to hear and advocate different themes and issues faced by their generation and how they can address them.
Joining the flag raising taught me of loving my own country. This is by showing respect to our national anthem and our Philippine flag whenever or wherever. I feel so proud to see my fellow students showing their talent, which encourages me also to do the same. It builds up my confidence that if others can do it, why can't I? Thank you, and mabuhay!
As part of the special program in journalism, the school, through the journalism team led by Mrs. Bunyel and Mr. Carpila, conducted regular online journalism classes every Tuesday and Thursday from 3 to 4 p.m., honing the skills of young writers in the field of journalism. This program also prepared the learners for the district and division training or contests, and surely it yielded positive results.
Ako si Yuri Mendoza Baba, isa sa mga batang journalist na nagtapos sa Kaligayahan Elementary School. Laking pasasalamat namin ang pagkakaroon ng journalism classes dahil sa pamamagitan nito, nahasa at natuto kami ng maigi kung paano nga ba naisusulat ng tama ang aming mga ginagawang artikulo. Dahil din sa journalism classes, na pagtanto ko na meron pala akong potensyal sa pagsusulat ng mga balita, na kung saan nagbigay sa akin ng ideya kung ano ang maaaring maging trabaho ko sa aking future.
These are the activities done by the ICT team. Strategic distribution of tablets from LGU, creation of G Suite accounts for all learners, and technical assistance to learners through online or face-to-face.
Online class, and I know how to do my Google Meet and Google Classroom, and I learned to write and read. We use Google Classroom to send our assignments and activities to our teacher. Students like me still need our parents' help.
Ito ang magandang epekto ng online learning.
Parang nasa classroom lang po kami at nakikita ko po mga classmate ko at natuturo po ni teacher po yung lesson.
One of the ongoing programs of the school is the creation of the KES Online Learning Resources Hub, which will benefit not only the teachers but also the learners as well. Led by the ICT coordinator, Mr. Carpila, together with the master teachers and grade chairman, the program targets to gather and organize by quarter all learning materials through MS Word and PowerPoint format used by teachers both for MDL and ODL to be made available to all teachers in the future. By using their unique G Suite account, teachers can now access these available materials online anytime. Many of these ongoing practices benefit not only KES but also Leandro Locsin Integrated School, which is now under the administration of Mr. Joey S. Masha, the school principal. With all these existing innovation, intervention, and remediation practices of the school, the ultimate beneficiaries are the learners. Through the leadership of the school administrator, untiring support of the LGU, NGOs, parents, and other stakeholders, and undying commitment of teachers, these will surely yield positive outcomes for a better future. To God be the glory.
Good day, everyone. You have seen and witnessed the different practices and programs of our school and how they have positively affected our learners, teachers, parents, and other stakeholders. This happened because there are people who look beyond the challenging times and see that there is good that comes out of them. According to a familiar quotation, good things can be bad if you look at the dark side, but bad things can be good if you look at the bright side. Indeed, it is easier to feel hopeless if we face with a difficult situation. But it is more rewarding if we did something good out of somewhat impossible situation. Of course, I would like to congratulate and thank all the learners, teachers, and parents of Kaligayahan Elementary School for taking step with us in our endeavors during these trying times. Without the concerted effort and cooperation, all the programs laid out would be meaningless. My appreciation and gratefulness also to the very supportive NGOs, the local government, and the Quezon City Schools Division Office for providing us with the essentials and for supporting all our projects. I hope that programs and projects will continue and yield good harvest soon, and will also inspire others to do everything they could for the benefit of our learners, the future of our country. Thank you very much, and again, good day.